Hello and welcome back to Hank's Yarncast. My name is Casey. I'm the owner and operator of Hank's Yarn Parlour here in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Thank you so much for joining me. You're very welcome here. Just a little space where I talk about what I've been knitting on, as well as any shop news. I do have a little bit of shop news to start with. Primarily, I want to talk about the Gathering Stitches Festival that is coming up in May. So that is on the Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of May at Castle SB, just outside of Cumber in Northern Ireland. So that's really exciting. It was the inaugural festival last year and we had an absolute blast at it. A really good crowd. We had great weather for it and just a heap of great vendors and little workshops and seminars that went on there. It was absolutely fantastic. So very much looking forward to it again this year. There's an absolute heap of exhibitors at it this year, and it's not all just yarn. There's quite a bit of also some like textile artists. There's a lady there that makes Dorset buttons. There's going to be some ceramics. There's going to be other textiles as well, like linens and kind of more fabric kind of stuff as well. So it's not all just yarn. There really is something there for just about everybody. It's also a really great family day out up at Castle SB. So your ticket to the exhibit also does get you into the ground, so you can walk around the Wet Life Preserve and see all the ducks. And yeah, hopefully it'll be good weather. It'd be great place for picnics. So if you haven't got your tickets for that yet, I do have a link in the description below to their website, and you can hop on there and get their tickets. They're a little bit of a discounted rate if you get them ahead of time. I think they are £10.30 for an adult, and there are also children's and concession tickets available there as well. So yeah, go ahead and have a look at that, and I really hope to see you there. I'm going to be having some different stuff there myself this year. So there's definitely going to be some knit and crochet kits. I will definitely have kits for the Creole cowl, as I've had in the shop for a while. I'm also planning to have some crochet kits there as well for a couple of kind of shawls, and also there's one for a really cute bag. So the two shawl kits, both patterns are by Lena Fendito. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't recall how to pronounce the last name, but I will throw the photos of these up here. So one of them is just one color DK weight shawl. The other one is a light fingering weight shawl or 4-ply. And that one is a 2-color shawl. It kind of works a little bit of a mosaic pattern on it. So yeah, it looks fantastic. I keep pointing the wrong side of the camera today, guys. But yeah, really looking forward to having kits for these and ready to go for that event. I'm also going to have a whole swag of new project bags. So I have a couple here that are ready to go that I can show you a little sneak peek. This is one of the bigger tote size bags. Fabulous red one as well. I'm kind of obsessed with these red bags right now. I don't know why. Red's not normally my color. And of course, I do have the matching smaller roll top bags. Not sure if that is focusing on the fabric. I think it's just looking for my face. There we go. This one's got more of like a geometric fabric on it. There we go. And there's another one. So there's going to be some of these sort of more blue and green colorways as well. So that's just a little peek of what I'm going to have there. There will, of course, just be a whole swag of my yarns and accessories. You'll be able to pick up any soak have some pattern books and some card decks there. So lots of interesting stuff going on there. Let's see, what else is coming up shop-wise? I haven't quite got around to setting dates for kind of the summer program of workshops in the shop here. So do bear with me on that. I can tell you that coming up we are going to have the crochet wind spinner class, which is a one-night taster session where you can kind of come and just play a little bit of crochet, just kind of dabble. We'll teach you all the really basic stitches and you will hopefully leave with a finished wind spinner. All the materials and stuff for that, as always with our classes, guys, all the materials are included in that. You just need to bring a hook. Oh, actually, no, I fibbed. That one does include the hook. That one does include the hook. We're also going to have an introduction to knitting in the round class coming up. Lately I've been doing that as like a little scrunchie project, but I think this time I'm gonna maybe make it a two-parter and we'll look at making a beanie together, and that way we can also tackle looking at decreases and that sort of thing, like shaping, which I think would be beneficial for our newer knitters. So there will also be a color work and hopefully a brioche class, possibly another sock class coming up over the summer as well. So if you're interested in any of those, do keep an eye out on our website. That'll be the first place they'll be posted and published just as soon as the dates are set. You can also follow us on social media. I'll always post when classes are available there as well. Okay, well, I think that's all the really important shop news. So let's just dive into what I've been working on. Not a terrible lot has been going on since the last time I chatted to you, but I do have finally finished. I feel like there should be a drum roll here while I dig it out of the bag. I have finished that massive black commission I was working on. So it's done. We didn't have any major superwash growth problems in the blocking process. So yeah, all I do to block these is I keep them in a pillowcase to kind of keep them all together, and that kind of prevents things like sleeves and whatnot from sagging out of shape under the weight of the water. Really pleased with how this turned out. It's really, really soft, that combination of superwash yarn and alpaca. It's dreamy. Like, it is going to be really nice to wear. Again, there was no pattern for this. This is just kind of like a bit of a free knit for me, if you will. I did mention, though, on the last episode that it is based off of the Susie Meyer's Contiguous method. So I'll have a link to that in the description below as well. So if you're interested in learning how to do a seamless construction with a kind of faux set-in sleeve. It's not actually a set-in sleeve, but it looks like one, and it fits like one. I just realized this is inside out, so not that it makes a whole lot of difference because it's black. You probably can't tell on the camera anyway, but yeah. Really pleased with how it's come out. I think it's going to fit him really well, and yeah, hopefully he'll be in tomorrow or later today maybe to collect it. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this other than, yeah, I'm just kind of glad it's done. It took up a lot of time. A lot of time. I haven't had hardly any time to be working on my own stuff, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm definitely missing and would like to get back to my own knits, so I think I'm going to put a bit of a hold on commissions for a little while. I know the gentleman that commissioned this sweater is looking for a few more, and I think I might have to disappoint him and tell him he's either going to have to wait or that it just might not happen. Great client. It's nothing to do with the client. It's just that am really finding this super time consuming, and I don't have time to do any of my own knit or crochet. And it's definitely like, even in the shop, I would kind of sometimes have a little bit of time to sneak in a few rows on commissions. And lately, coming up to the festival and everything, it's just been, it's too much. Too much going on. Festival prep has actually been taking up a lot of my time. So, but I did have a little bit of time once I got this off the needles earlier this week to revisit my Franny Granny Square sweater. And I've actually got, so I managed to get kind of most of the body done. I've got one side I finished at our knit night last night, and then I kind of came back and just started the sleeves as well, and that was really just because I just kind of wanted to get rid of that last little bit of the pink and blue kind of colors, and then the rest of it is going to be that kind of gold color. I'm kind of having a thought though. I'm wondering if I want to incorporate any more white into it, or if, like, maybe if I should do that in the kind of cuffs and the hem at the bottom. So this is kind of, oops, sorry guys. This is kind of what it looks like at the bottom. It's just kind of straight across, and it's probably going to have another like 2 to 3 inches of ribbing at the bottom. So this other side over here will be squared off as well. And I just can't decide if I want to incorporate a little bit more of this white, or if I should keep to the kind of tan gold color. So the rest of the sleeve and the body kind of will be that gold color, and I'm just wondering if I should add the white in again at the bottom. I don't know. I'm kind of a little on the fence about it. I think it would look tidier to keep it gold. And I don't know if it's just because I'm having a little bit of more regret that I didn't incorporate more white into the stripe, maybe. And I'm not prepared to rip it out again. I've actually already ripped out the side panel. I've already had to rip that out entirely once and go back and redo it. Like, literally when I was down to the second to last row, and realized that I had made an error way back at the beginning. So this is basically made, it's crocheted in the round off of the yoke, and then when you get to a certain point, you slip it for the sleeves and then kind of close in the sides of the body. And when I split for the sleeves, that was fine. I split for the sleeves around at kind of that blue stripe, and then carried on that blue stripe for just a couple more rounds, just to add a little bit of length to the body. And then, yeah, started on the side. And yeah, you kind of, it is a little bit tricky here at the underarm where there's this decrease kind of happens then to form the triangle that fills in the side of the garment. I did not have the right count here at all. It wasn't actually, what happened was that my center of my triangle was off to one side by like a stitch, which is super annoying. I should have been paying closer attention to that. So anyway, yeah, I had to rip the whole thing out, frogged it, which is, broke my heart a little bit. I think this is why I really struggle to get on board with crochet in terms of, I mean, I love the way that some crochet pieces, like, really like how this is turning out. I can't wait to wear this. I'm really excited about it. However, every time I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist sometimes with my work, and at least I feel like in knitting, it's a lot, you can definitely go back. Like, I can drop a stitch down all the way to the cast on row if I need to in knitting and fix it, which you can't do in crochet. So having to rip out an entire side panel of work because I made a mistake way back at the very beginning was a little bit heartbreaking for me. It kind of takes the wind out of my sails, and it really demotivates me to kind of keep going with it. But it actually, To be fair, it didn't actually take that long to get this side panel worked up again. I was able to do that in the couple of hours at our knit night, our stitch and stash last night. So yeah, I really shouldn't complain that much. I was really annoyed, but long story short, we got there in the end, got the right stitch count, and it is squared off now. So I just have the other side and the sleeves to go. I think I'm gonna, there's a couple options for the sleeves on this. I think on the sample photo, I'll throw back up here, she has kind of a few rows of the granny clusters going down the sleeves, and then she's got like from kind of the elbow down these really long cuffs that obviously like cinch in quite close or quite fitted to the lower arm. But I think I am going to continue with the granny squares and make the sleeves a little bit more loose and just give them a cuff on the ends so they're a little bit of not like a bell or a balloon sleeve, but just like a little bit of a puff there, but not like massive. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go for. Just kind of keep it a little bit loose fitting. I think it's just gonna be a really cute top to throw over like a camisole or a vest in the summertime. It does tend to be a little bit cooler here in Northern Ireland in the summertime. We rarely get weather that is, I mean, I think in the whole time I've lived here, the kind of max temperature has been like 26 degrees, which to be fair is kind of plenty high enough for me, especially in the humidity here. I originally come from Calgary in Canada, and it can definitely it could get up to 35 degrees there in the summertime, and it often does, but it's much drier. It's a real dry heat. So yeah, 26 here is plenty, but it doesn't really get up to that. If we get a summer where it's kind of like 20 to 22, I'll be chuffed. I will be really happy. So yeah, long story short, probably not too many bare arms in my future, but yeah, I think this is just going to be cozy. So it's, again, this is done in the Rosarios for Atlantico. Sadly, I've just found out it's discontinued, but they do have a new range, the Sunrise range, to replace this sort of Aran weight cotton with. And we'll very likely be getting that into the shop in place of the Atlantico. I'm pretty sure that it has a really similar color palette to this as well. A few more kind of bolder colors as well, deep ones. What else can I say about this? It's been kind of an interesting learning experience. I mean, having never crocheted a garment before, this is my first one. I kind of wasn't really sure what to expect with the construction in terms of like how shaping happens and that sort of thing. It's just been really, really interesting. Being that it's top down, and I knit a lot of top down sweaters, I'm kind of familiar with the shaping of knitted garments, but it definitely works a little bit different in crochet, and that has been really interesting because particularly with this garment, so because of the way that it is kind of made, like crochet doesn't really, even if you're kind of going all the way around, it started off with this square, or I guess diamond shaped, actually if I just hold it up, now that it has the side, it might be harder to see that shape, but yeah, the yoke, those kind of granny squares do start off this sort of, I can't hold that open well enough for you to kind of see where all the points on the diamond are, but it's there. Yeah, so you're kind of crocheting once you get the yoke put together, and then you're crocheting in rounds, kind of like a giant granny square. And when you split for the sleeves, you do make a chain to go across to kind of bridge the underarm gap, which is really similar to how you would just cast on extra stitches in the underarm. And then because of the way that this is made so that the point is kind of down the front of the garment, we kind of end up with this really deep V, and then we need to fill in the triangles on the sides. So normally when you split your knitting at this stage, there's not a point here. You would just be knitting kind of straight across in rounds, spirals really. But yeah, this having to kind of switch then to crocheting back and forth to fill that in, like that's just, yeah, it's just kind of interesting that I guess it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit more. I think I was expecting to just kind of keep going in rounds for so long, and then it keeps things a little bit more interesting, I think, because you kind of at a certain you're making part of the garment in a certain way, and then you kind of change it up a little bit to finish it off. So that's interesting for me. I probably all of you out there that are regularly making crochet garments are like, why is that so mind-blowing? But it just is. It interests me. So can't wait to get this on. I might just actually throw it on over this sweater I'm wearing real quick just to check kind of how it's fitting so far. So I'll show you guys. Okay. Stand up here so you know you can't quite see the bottom. Maybe if I stand over here. Yeah, so that's kind of where it's hanging. Just kind of right at my hip. And there's going to be about another 2 to 3 inches, probably about 2.5 inches, I'd say, of ribbing along the bottom of that. And then some of the sleeves. But it feels nice. It's nice and kind of relaxed, and it's not too heavy either. Just kind of like my one thing that puts me off cotton sometimes is that the garment itself actually like weighs a lot. So yeah. So I think that's really all I kind of had to chat about this time. Yeah, I haven't really been working on much else to chat to you guys about, so sorry. This is a super short episode. I wasn't even sure if I was going to thought I might give it a miss this month and catch these up next time, but I did really want to tell you all about Gathering Stitches and remind you to get your tickets for that. So I will be seeing you guys next time I see you will be right after the festival. So hopefully I will have a little bit more work to show you, a little bit more knitting to show you and or crochet, and hopefully by then also I will have some photos and some other great tales that I can tell you about the festival. So really looking forward to that. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hopefully you found that informative or at least a little bit entertaining. If you did, if you'd like to catch the next episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and give the episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.